When you picture a mass shooting, you probably don't picture a quiet, remote town in Canada. But a really shocking tragedy has just exposed a troubling reality, and it's forcing a country known for its safety to confront a problem it thought it had solved.
Just think about that phrase for a second. A mass shooting. In a school in Canada. It's a combination of words that just feels wrong, right? This one event has really shaken the country's identity, and it's raising some very, very difficult questions.
So, to really understand how deep this goes, our story has to start in a place you would absolutely never expect: Tumbler Ridge. It's a small, isolated community, more than 1,000 kilometers away from the hustle of Vancouver.
Okay, so here's how it all went down. It all started at 1:20 in the afternoon, local time. A call comes into the police. There's a shooter inside the Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. For hours, the entire community was put on lockdown as police swarmed the scene. And what they found? Well, it was just devastating.
The final toll was just staggering. 10 people were found dead across 2 different locations, the school and a nearby home, which the police believe are connected. The shooter, who was identified as a female, was one of them, apparently from a self-inflicted wound. But here's the thing: 2 huge pieces of this puzzle are just missing. We still don't know the motive, and we don't know what weapon was used.
Now, this is where the story gets really complicated. An event like this feels almost impossible when you think about Canada's reputation. I mean, the country has some of the strictest gun laws on the planet, and a lot of that was shaped by another tragedy.
23. That's not just a number. That's how many people were killed in the 2020 Nova Scotia shooting, which was the deadliest rampage in the country's modern history. An event that horrific becomes a catalyst, right? It forced the government to completely rethink its approach to gun control, and they took some really decisive, sweeping action.
And the response was huge. The government didn't mess around. They immediately brought in a massive ban on over 1,500 models of assault-style weapons. Then, they widened that ban to include handguns. They even launched a multi-million-dollar buyback program to get these military-grade firearms out of civilian hands for good.
So this brings us to the central, glaring question, doesn't it? With all of these rules in place, bans, buybacks, strict regulations, how on earth does a mass shooting at a school still happen?
Well, it turns out the answer isn't really found inside Canada's borders. The country is dealing with a flood of illegal firearms coming from the United States, and it's creating this huge black market that is directly fueling violence.
Get ready for this, because the data from Toronto, Canada's biggest city, is just wow. This year, 88%, let that sink in, almost 9 out of every 10 firearms recovered from crime scenes were smuggled in from the United States. This isn't a small piece of the pie, it's practically the whole thing.
And it's not just a Toronto problem. If we zoom out to Ontario, the most populous province in the whole country, the number is even higher when you look at handguns. 91% of handguns found at crime scenes were brought in illegally from the US. I mean, the pattern here is crystal clear.
So how are all these guns getting past the border? Well, smugglers are getting smarter and more sophisticated. Guns are hidden in trucks and cars. They're flown over on drones. They're hidden in boats. Or they're left in what are called dead drops. We're not talking about amateurs here. This is organized crime. And get this, some American guns can sell for up to 8 times their original price on the Canadian black market.
So all of this brings us right back to where we started, that small, shaken town of Tumbler Ridge. We've got these 2 stories running side by side, a horrific local tragedy and this massive international smuggling problem.
And here it is, the final, haunting question that investigators and really the entire Canadian public are struggling with right now. We know for a fact that American guns are fueling crime all across Canada. But were they involved in this specific shooting? The answer to that question could change everything we think we know about safety, borders, and the real source of Canada's gun problem.